And then there's hard pants, which hard pants are a big deal. Like, I'll wear hard pants for, like, my dad. And a few other people. That sounds weird. Annyeonghaseyo, welcome to Afternoona Delight, where Leah, Megan, and Amy, 3 American romance novelists discussing all things K-romance from a writer's lens. So grab some tteokbokki and listen to your new favorite unnies.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hi there.
How's everyone this evening?
You know, pondering a big question.
Ooh.
And before we get into it, because we have a lot to get through, but I'm going to give it to both of you.
Okay.
You didn't know I was sitting on this.
No. This is a surprise. You didn't warn us.
No, not at all.
This is unscripted.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, the question that I have for you tonight is a question that I have been pondering with my family, and that is cereal soup?
No. No.
Unpack it for me
No.
then. Unpack it for me why it's not.
Because soup is savory to me.
But sometimes I do like a pear and parsnip soup, and it's quite sweet.
Okay, soup has some sort of nutritional value.
So does cereal.
Whether it be vegetable or protein.
Okay.
Well, you know, what kind of cereal are you talking about, though? If you're talking about, like, some, like, grainy muesli, like, no, because it is, if you were talking about something like muesli compared to, like, Cookie Crisp, like, there's a difference.
Sure, but is it soup?
Because I would venture to say that some cereals are dessert.
I love
Megan's,
the
like,
silence.
choking.
I'm ready to hear.
I know.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just had like a huge coughing fit. Okay. I agree that some cereal is dessert. Oh my god, my throat is like still
But
messed
would
up
you
from
say that
coughing.
any cereal is soup? Is oatmeal soup?
Well, I mean, look, you got like, I mean, Cheerios is like fortified with vitamins and minerals.
So
right?
your
Isn't that what they tell us
criteria
on the
is that
box?
soup must be nutritious.
No,
I'm just rebutting Amy's.
I'm Googling soup definition right now because you're gonna.
Because there's cold soup.
This is not
like-
right. There's like gazpacho.
I mean, but then is salsa soup.
Okay, listen to this. A liquid dish typically made by boiling meat, fish, or vegetables in stock or water.
But that's
Okay.
But then gazpacho would be.
That's the difference. But gazpacho isn't soup. That is the difference, because even if you have a cold soup, it's usually cooked first.
Yes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
vichyssoise. Vichyssoise would be leeks that you've cooked and potatoes that you've cooked, but then you serve it cool.
right.
So then,
But then cereal's baked.
yeah.
No, you
Yes.
are not. You are
No,
not
it's true.
making
It's
the
true.
Cheerios.
No, you're not. But it would be
True.
like if I bought, let's say, dehydrated potatoes.
A can of Campbell's
Yeah.
soup.
Or what if I just ate my soup
So
cold?
if you're like, I'm in the mood for soup today, you consider cereal? Like when you're deciding, I feel like some soup.
No, I'm not making this argument. I just think it's like an interesting observation. So Nick, for example,
Who started this argument?
I
You?
remember once when I was like, of course,
It's
of course, but I didn't have an
like
answer.
you're just
for
like
it.
you just want to like poke the bear.
Of course.
But I remember like back when I enabled Nick more, I bought Costco lentil soup, like Annie's lentil soup. And I was going away. This is when we lived in Hawaii. And I was going away to like Michigan. And I was like, you're going to be alone for like a month. Here, obviously, I don't know how you're going to survive because I was gross and like whatever. And so I'm like, here's a whole bunch of boxes of lentil soup. You just have to like pop it in the mic, in like the pot, cook it, eat it. So he did. But he didn't even cook it. He would just open the cans of soup and eat it with a spoon out of the can. Like a hobo on a train.
Oh, gross.
Like For weeks, I tell you, weeks. And then he told me that what he would do is take handfuls of spinach and he would just shove them into the can too. That's my husband, ladies and gentlemen.
That is gross.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? What are you doing?
Cold lentil soup
with just handfuls of spinach.
What is this, like the road?
Yeah, exactly. Ugh. Anyway, so that was just my question. We don't have to belabor it more than that, but I am curious. I'm curious what listeners think. Is cereal soup? Yes, no. And if it's no, I want to know
but
why.
if it's yes, you're fine. People can say yes with
cereal.
no question, and then you're fine.
No, if it's yes, I'd like to know too. I don't know if I think it's soup or not. I was just trying to define soup.
I like cereal and soup, but
cereal,
I don't.
though.
They're not one and the same.
I just went to the store. I just went to the store today to get more milk, only because I wanted to eat it with cereal, and my daughter did too, because we both eat cereal at night. It's the best.
I don't know. No, what was just cracking me up about that is like she's like it was like a big thing. Like I went to the store today to get milk because I need it in my cereal. As if that is like a bananas reason to go in. Like you guys don't understand. I went today to get milk because I need to eat cereal with it.
No fucking way. What kind of cereal?
But it is a big deal. It is a big deal because I rarely leave my house.
Okay, well then that's your sad journey. I mean, like
yeah. So it's a big deal for me to like put on outside pants. I mean, I had to put on outside pants just to go to the store.
What's the difference?
Like, well, my inside pants. Well, sometimes like maybe they're a little like see-through, not like in a sexy way, but like they're just old. Or they like don't fit well. Like they actually like the like I'm like a little kid with like too long pants and they like drag on the floor and flop around, but like it doesn't matter because I'm home and they're like inside pants.
What if you just had home pants that fit you?
Well, that's a lot of work. Like yesterday,
I mean, I think the thing is that I just wear my pants at all times, and there's not really a big division, so maybe there should be, because I think sometimes I'm wearing things as outside pants that perhaps should be what you are defining as inside pants.
I mean, the one time that I tried to do that, like I was like, I'm going to take these indoor pants and I'm going to wear them outside, and my husband's like,
did you show vagina this morning?
No, my husband's like, you're wearing like patterned underwear, and I was like, how do you know? And he's like, there's a big hole in the back, and I was like, well, that's why you don't wear your inside pants outside.
So I had that at a water polo game this weekend where my daughter was like, you're wearing yellow underwear, and I'm like, yeah, I am. And she's like, because I can see it through the hole that's in the pants. So that's what I'm saying. Perhaps I'm wearing outside pants or inside pants outside.
There's a method.
I do have a division of pants, but I have worn outside pants to like run to the store. I just make sure that I have some. Sorry, I have worn inside pants to go to the store. I just make sure that I have something long with it, because more often than not, there is a hole somewhere where there shouldn't be a hole.
Like yesterday, Neil was like, "Can you take Dane to the hair to get his haircut?" And I just looked at him and I'm like, "Do you see the pants I have on right now? I'm not dressed to go outside." And he's like, because he's a state. He's like,
was your front butt showing?
He took him. Just because he knew I didn't want to change.
The pants argument.
Seriously. I put on jeans this morning, so I went to breakfast with my dad. And yeah, my husband's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I have breakfast with Dad." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, why are you wearing jeans?" Like, what's wrong with jeans? Hard pants. Those aren't even
hard pants.
Those are hard pants.
So in your mind, you define jeans as hard pants. There's inside pants,
and then there's hard pants,
which
hard pants are a big deal. Like I'll wear hard pants for like my dad, and a few other people.
name.
That sounds weird.
So if we came to visit you, what kind of pants do we get?
I mean, if you just like showed up, I'd be wearing inside pants. But if we went out together for dinner, I would wear hard pants for you guys.
Out.
Yeah,
We're going out.
like clubbing. No,
Hard
I'm just
pants.
So the good pants are the hard pants, and the hard pants are jeans. Okay. All right. Well, now we know a lot about Megan, and we still don't know if cereal's soup or not. Megan seems open. Amy seems very not open, and
I'm going by the dictionary.
Amy, what are we celebrating tonight, Amy?
Segue.
Dictionary
Should we
away.
segue?
Yeah.
So, as of this recording, so it'll be more in a couple weeks when this show airs, but as of this recording, this night, Wednesday, October 5th, when we're recording this, we just put out our 101st episode
Woohoo!
of Afternoona Delight.
Yay! I know. we
I
don't
wish I
have
had the
bells.
little cowbell. Ding.
Where's your wind chimes?
She's a.
I'm not in my daughter's
Oh,
room.
those are Brontes. Okay. So, I mean, I'm pretty proud of us. I gotta say, for a text chain way back in January of 2021, when we were just talking so much about Chloe and Goblin, and just on a whim, we were like, we should just do a podcast about this, and we did. We're like, okay,
Because
Yes,
we're really technologically savvy. I was like, no, I definitely should just bust out because my tech jobs
we
for the
need to
podcast.
give credit to Mr. Neil Erickson on this podcast for all of our tech know-how, because I mean, he's the one who kind of figured out how to get us going.
He was like,
Yes.
tell them to buy this microphone. Tell them to do this.
Guide me, oh wise one.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
Thanks, Neil.
He's very invested. He's
He's
always
the
like,
manager.
because he's always like, do you have banter planned for this podcast? What are you going to talk about? And he always wants to know.
He's the silent partner of Afternoona Delight,
Does
but he's
he
not
listen?
silent to
I
Megan.
don't think he does listen. I think he listens
Does
to
he
the
listen
beginning
to
a lot.
us?
I think he listens to the banter. So yeah,
Oh,
I know.
Neil.
So,
You're listening
yeah.
now,
He
probably.
Thank you, Neil.
He's probably turned it off already. Just kidding.
Because he turned it off at hard pants.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, all right, I hear that enough at home. But it's been over a year and a half, and we still have not missed a Wednesday, despite like.
Knock on the fake
It's
wood
true.
of my
I
desk.
feel like this is like despite COVID, despite trips overseas.
I feel like this is one of my longest relationships. This podcast.
It is.
So,
It's, I mean,
I feel like I could be missing a limb and I'd tourniquet myself.
same.
And do
I'd be
it.
like, okay.
I did it with COVID. I wasn't going to miss. I'll miss it, if a kid has an activity, but I won't miss it for COVID.
But even so, we work around it.
Yeah.
we can still carry on. We
can.
can still, like, sometimes one of us can't do it, but we.
And shout out
Because
to
you know
all the-
what?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because you know what?
What?
We get to do this.
We do.
We don't have to do it.
It's just
And-
we
to
get
do it.
to do
And
it.
shout out to all of the guest hosts that we've had who filled in when some of us
Absolutely.
couldn't do it. That has been amazing, and we are grateful to each and every one of you. So thank you for that. And to the
And it's going to happen more just because our guest hosts have all been so
actually
stinking
now we
talented
just want them
that
on.
like, yeah,
Great.
I know. Just come be on the show. Like,
We're like, what
because
can we
you're
have
awesome.
Sarah talk about?
Yep, pretty much. But also, like, everybody who is listening to us right now, who's part of our Patreon, who interacts with us on Instagram and Twitter, and I don't think anybody interacts with us on Facebook, but we're there too.
and who corrects our pronunciations like Grace.
Yes, we appreciate all of you for all that you do to let us do this, because this seriously is the day that I look forward to every week.
Same.
Like, it is one of my favorite days of the week. It's so much fun to not just talk about dramas, but to get to see each other like this. I mean, this is more face-to-face time than I have with my friends who live in the same town as me.
Same.
You know? I mean, I do leave my house and I do put on outside pants. I wear hard pants quite a bit, actually.
Monster.
But the second I get home, they come off.
Daily, even.
But yeah, so thank you everybody who has made Afternoona Delight last as long as it has and will continue to move forward, because this is just such a joy for us. And now we've spawned a new podcast. You know, we've got Afternoona Army, and it's just going to keep getting better.
Yes, we're really excited to be spawning off our first spin-off, which is Afternoona Army, which I am helping participate on as a co-host. And the tagline is Thinky, Thirsty, and Over 30. And it's a celebration of BTS and Army life, which is something that I am new to. Like, I'm not even fully a year old. Like, I was liking BTS like a normal person this time last year. Like, liking them more than I had like a couple months before, but like I hadn't gone off the deep end yet. And so, so it's a fun podcast. It does have good crossover because, you know, if you're interested in K-drama, you might have like taken the leap into K-pop, and, you know, BTS is quite big. So, so check it out. We put out one full-length episode the third Tuesday of every month. And then because I have no chill, we also just put out lots of like snack episodes during the month as well. So give us a follow and check it out.
Yeah, it was like, I felt like I was getting like notifications.
Oh yeah, I got another one to edit
episode.
now.
Like,
So
oh
yeah,
God,
it's going to keep on happening. And then a big shout out and big kudos to Megan for doing the heavy lifting on our new logo.
We're very excited about it.
We are.
It really made my day. Like, I've stared at this logo like a stupid amount. It just makes me happy to look at it. You know, we just wanted to kind of do something that maybe felt like a little more sophisticated and professional. And we found a graphic designer who I thought did a fantastic job. Love the colors and the overall vibe. So we hope you like it too.
And as a personal note, I just want to say that we are, the three of us, you know, quite different. We live in different parts of the country. We are like different as people. And so I think that it's just really nice that like you are like family to me. And even though I know, for example, like when Amy gets upset with us or doesn't understand us, well, not even that, just like
we're unorganized.
How our brain works. Yeah. I don't even know how to begin to talk about it because I don't understand still why it's confusing.
I know.
Amy, just TLDR is that Amy was trying
I'm sorry.
We were trying to be like, let's divide our labor a little bit more clearly. And then Amy started to ask some questions about social media and like who will post social media when. And I don't know what happened. Yeah, I don't know what happened to this conversation. It's not interesting. We don't not need to spend time here. I just want to say like this conversation went into like a void where I don't know what happened.
I am more triggered by that than any other traumas in my life.
It's like a total breakdown of like reality.
But I still don't really understand what the problem is. And then that became a problem because I was like, but isn't that the thing that we just do? And she's like, it's true. Yeah. So that is why I did dedicate, you know, as I was manifesting my life, you know, and starting to get things in order. And I did delete 90,000 messages out of my Gmail this week. 90,000. I still have 18,000.
That's awesome.
I still have 18,000 left.
I'm sick.
But this has like been around since like
sick at the thought of
2012, my email. And I'm pretty sure I've just never deleted anything. And I think I use that email to sign up for like anything under the sun, like a 90-year-old boomer. So I think it's like got like, I don't even know.
I've been starting to unsubscribe. Like as I start deleting all the shit that I don't know, I'm like, no, just unsubscribe.
Actually,
unsubscribe. Like stuff that I never open.
I feel like
I
have, you can't see, I have 32, and that gives me hives. that I have 32 unread messages.
Well, I'm at 18,523 and I'm feeling a lot better.
You know what doesn't make you feel better, though?
Oh, God.
Binging Cafe Minamdang.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, that did not make me feel better.
There's our segue
into this drama because, okay, I am not a hater.
No, you're not a hater. Okay. All right.
Let's
go.
go.
The real reason we are here tonight is to talk romance, murder, shamans.
People are like,
They're like, what the hell is happening? They're like, put on your goddamn inside pants and get going.
I'm putting on the hard pants for this hard conversation.
I've got inside pants on, so let's go. So that's right, folks. It's time for Cafe Minamdang, or as Megan coined it, Scooby Doo. If you have not yet watched the drama, that's okay. We'll start with a spoiler-free discussion and then give you a heads up when we're entering Spoiler Town.
Yeah. Saw In Gook plays Nam Han Jun, a former criminal profiler who, for reasons, which we'll get to later, went to prison, and now that he is out, he masquerades as a shaman. His business is extremely lucrative and operates out of a cafe he runs called Cafe Minamdang. While he does scam his customers for money because he's not a real shaman, he actually does help every client, but he can't accomplish the scam alone. Nam Han Jun's partners are his best friend, Kong Soo Chol, another former cop, and Nam Hai Jun, his hacker extraordinaire baby sister. Well, she's not a baby, but she's his little sister. Han Jae-hui, played by Oh Yeon-seo, is a police detective who always catches her bad guy, except one. She has a case that is very near and dear to her heart that she's been trying to solve for years. When her path crosses with Nam Han Jun, sparks and fists fly.
How many times do fists fly, Leah?
Too many.
A lot.
Oh, I mean, to where it's like, it's abuse.
It is.
It's a lot.
I agree, 100%.
Cafe Minamdang just aired this past summer on Netflix and was a must-watch for many. Was it the murder and intrigue? The love of police procedurals? The need for not one, but two romances? Bonkers physical comedy? Or maybe just the desire to see an excellent homage to Goblin? Whatever the reason, Cafe Minamdang refuses to be placed into any one genre box. It's got it all, my friends. Those are Amy's words. And not mine.
Well, no, because that's leading into my question.
Yeah.
I'm being facetious. So the question is, does it have too much? Or is the sprinkling of all the things just right?
I mean, look, it's a lot. So I like this drama more than Leah. I didn't love it, and I didn't even like it a lot, but I liked it. But it's a lot, and it's 18 episodes of a lot. And that's like, I think, my biggest gripe with this drama. It could have been 16 episodes, and actually it could have been 12. And actually I think it could have been
8 is what
I think it could have been a really good drama if it was like 12 to 16. I truly believe it, because I think that there was a lot of plot that just didn't even need to be in. But I mean, it's always fun to watch a drama where the bad guys lose. I mean, that's not a spoiler. Of course, the villains get it. It's really who the villains that are in the
fun. That's fun
to watch the bad guys like get it. I mean, like,
okay,
lose.
Don't
argue with me. Don't.
She left the house to buy milk today.
It's your time. Megan enjoys it when the bad guys lose.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point where I was like, this drama. It was like around episode 14 when things really got a lot, and that was the point where I was like, I just only like this drama. But I was like, you know what? It's fun. It's fun to watch like the bad guys lose, because these bad guys were pretty bad. But I would say that there was like a ton of extra scenes and like joke comedy situations, like not even just like a joke. I mean, like a whole situation that just went on too long, like 10 minutes of an episode. So I guess that's how I feel about it.
So I want to say it's just me. I don't know if it is. All I know is that this drama was not my bag. So I think I'm going to go on the record and say it may be my least favorite drama I've watched to date. And I'm not totally sure why.
Oh man.
But I think it is. And okay. So look, I want to preface it by saying this show did pretty well in Korea. It garnered a 5.7% Nielsen Korea rating for the finale, which was an uptick rather than a fall off. So that means people cared enough to show up and see how this worked out. So I really want to just like emphasize this a lot throughout, because even though I personally was not into it, people were. And so, you know, that has value. I would say this driller. Yes, it was a driller. Oh my God. This was a real driller. It drilled me in the brain. It was a drama with thriller aspects and a lot of slapstick. And if you think people who work in a fake shaman business but get scared of perceived ghosts are funny, like it might be your journey. I don't know what's wrong with me, because I think I enjoy humor. I do enjoy murder on the occasion. I am curious about shamanism, but I just never connected to this drama. And a goblin slow-mo walk that was done well and cute was not enough to dunk this for me. Overall, the plot felt really repetitive. So I'm just going to say, like, it felt repetitive. That was like, for me, it just felt like it was too much like Cracker Barrel gravy. Like it just smothered everything. And I don't know what you call the plot device, but it's like, I feel like every time they got a suspect and they were like about to like get some big answer from something, the thing either like the person got released or disappeared or died in every show. And to me, it felt like a reverse Scooby Doo. Like instead of like unmasking and like giving all the answers, I felt like it would be like, and then like that was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not wrong. I mean, I will say that. I don't disagree with either of you. Yet I did enjoy the ride. I have an idea why it worked better for me, and I'll get to that in a couple more questions. But next, I think this was for all of us our first Seunguk drama, other than my first episode review of Doom at Your Service for our Love It or Leave It podcast, which we did a while back. After Cafe Minamdang, despite what you might think of the drama itself, are you a fan of the actor?
Like, that is 100% for me. I loved him. Like, oh my God. The faces he made. And, like, this is the thing, actually. When he pulled faces or was a part of, you know, the humor, he wasn't too much for me. Which is surprising, because to me, he was just right. Like Goldilocks and Three Bears. He was just right for me. I just loved him. I love to watch him on screen. He's magnetic. The way he like really put himself into this role, you know, when he would like do his shaman, again, he was pretending to be a shaman. But so when he would like, you know, ring the bell and do the dances and kind of pitch his voice, like he's a singer. I don't know if either of you have heard him sing. He's like an amazing singer. And so he could like kind of, you know, put vibrato in his voice when he was when
he was chanting.
Chanting. Thank you. I was like, what is the word I'm looking for? And I did. I will say that I did. I'm happy I watched this drama because of him. I loved him.
So I did think he was lovely to look at, and that he's unique, but in like a good and memorable way. And I think he has a lot of charisma. And I actually saw him in my Love It or Leave It episode as well for Reply 1997, where I thought he had a really good amount of smolder. And Reply 1997 was actually his acting debut. And I definitely will go back and watch Reply 1997 in the next couple of months. And I also do want to try Shopping King Louis at some point, because I do hear that it's like good at being kind of fuzzy and happy. And when I'm in a mood for that,
yes,
that might be good. Also,
I heard the same thing.
Yeah. It sounds delightful. And then he's 34, which was a relief, because that feels totally acceptable at this point. It's like very age appropriate for my current standard of living. And I'm like, you were born in 1987? Like, a great year. Dirty Dancing released. Beverly Hills Cop 3. That's a reference for Amy. Fatal Attraction. I wasn't allowed to watch any of these because I was 7. But, you know, I mean, I don't have to worry about the floor with him. So, he's an attractive man who like doesn't make me hate myself.
I did not know he was 34. That makes me feel even better.
Yeah. And I
He doesn't
saw
look 34.
No,
of course not.
I saw all 3 of those movies, Leah, and somehow I questioned whether you saw any of the Beverly Hills Cop movies. Though,
Never,
because
never
they
have.
were comedy action. Like, yeah,
Nope, not
I saw
one.
them all. Not your bag, and that's okay. But I agree that 34 is a completely acceptable age to find him magnetic and attractive, like well above my constantly decreasing floor. I thought, like you, Megan, like I never thought he overdid it. Like he wasn't a caricature, right? Like where he could have been. Where like Kwak Seong was a caricature. I enjoyed it, but he was a caricature. He never came off as a real person to me. And we can talk about that in a little bit. But he wasn't over the top to the extent where I was like, you're not even, like, I don't even believe that this person exists, kind of thing. Like I did believe in Nam Han-jun, and he could be ridiculously funny and then all of a sudden burst into tears, and I bought it. And that to me is what made this drama memorable for me, was his performance in it.
I just want to add, there's a clip from a variety show. I'd retweeted it before. I feel like it comes up on Twitter every once in a while, where basically he's on a variety show with his mom, and essentially he finds out that his mom got pregnant with him almost like before she had to get the marriage certificate. Like basically the hosts are asking her all these questions, and you can see, Seo Eun-guk is sitting there, and you can see the gears and him doing the math in his head. And then at one point he just yells, "Oh, Ma!" like that. And like the whole crowd is like dying. It's really, really funny. And we'll have to link it
It's
for
very
you.
cute.
Because it's very cute, very hysterical.
That sounds really cute.
It's
very
funny. He's very charismatic in real life. His mom is adorable. And it's just, everything I've seen of him in person, he really is that charismatic. It's kind of not just a character.
And he did try out apparently to be an idol in a bunch of different places, and it did not work out for him.
Well, look at him now. He's doing freaking fantastic.
Which I'm like, you know what? Like, you're doing just fine. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
So moving on. While I thought this was my first Kwak Seong drama, it was not. Nor was it for either of you. This guy was so funny and such a goof, but like I said, a bit of a caricature, that I kind of just wanted to know, what else has he done? Like, I expected to see him in all these like sort of like zany comedies, right? So color me shooketh when I saw that he played the hot son of the apartment landlady in Fight for My Way. We'll post a side-by-side on our social when this episode airs, because I still cannot get over how much this guy acts with his whole entire body and face. I kid you not. The whole way through Cafe Minamdang, if he's not smiling like a goober, he has this expression of like having just smelled his own fart and wondering if anyone else can smell it too.
Oh my God, Amy, that's exactly it. That's a great description.
It's the only way I could think of to describe it.
It's accurate.
So gross.
So, did you enjoy his brand of comedy? And were you as shocked as I was to find out that Soo Chol is also Nam Il from Fight for My Way?
Yeah, I mean, I was totally shocked because I do remember Nam Il from Fight for My Way, and he was very serious, very hot, and he was like presented as like the hot land. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
And so it wasn't even just that he had a different haircut in Minamdang, but he had an altogether different face, because like Amy said, he had this like Soo Chol expression the entire time. Like, I will say props to the actor for never breaking character. Like, really good for him. But
I mean,
it was a lot. And I did like him. I would say, like, I really loved him for the first, like, 6 episodes. That's what I'm saying. Like, if this was a shorter drama, it would have... Because the first 6 episodes, I still thought he was great. He was, like, a great sidekick. But then it just got to be, like, you almost start to, like, worry about him. Like, is something going on? Like, and it,
Does he have a drug
yeah,
addiction?
like, it was like, it got to be too much. Like, I really, at the end, just wanted him to, like, walk normal, because he ran like Jack Sparrow. And I was like, you gotta stop. And just the constant facial expression. They would be like talking about like murders and crimes, and he still has this like dumb expression on his face. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? It got to the point where I was like, I like almost wanted him to break character. So just, it was a little much after a while. But again, props to the character. Like, way to go, buddy. You transformed yourself. Or, I'm sorry, props to the actor.
He committed. He was like, nothing is going to break me out of this. So I have to say, I didn't remember Nam Il from Fight for My Way. And I'm not trying to be an asshole. Like, I did not remember this character more than like the vaguest sketches.
No, it was a cameo. It was a cameo.
Yeah. It was barely.
Yeah. And so when I looked him up and I saw him, I was like, oh yeah. But I didn't have like a big moment.
Right.
And I'm not trying to be an asshole. I was just kind of like, okay, there he is. Great.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
I don't have anything good. I want to like make this more exciting and be like, I was like, oh my God. And instead I was like, oh yeah, that guy, kind of, I remember him. Okay.
I just meant the look of him. I just meant like how he looks like a totally different person. Like, that was all. It had nothing to do with his performance in Fight for My Way. It was just when you look at a picture of his character from Fight for My Way and you look at a picture of him from Cafe Minamdang, I would not think it was the same person because of how he acts with his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be kind and just say yes.
Amy's
moving on. So here is the reason why I think I enjoyed this drama more than both of you. I watched the drama live as it aired, which was 2 episodes a week on Monday and Tuesdays. And this was perfect because I was not feeling the need to binge until the latter half when the mystery really took some bananas twists and turns that we will get to in the spoiler section. But neither of you watched it live and you had to more or less binge. Would you consider this a bingeable drama?
Yeah, and I do think that was part of my problem as well. I really think if I was watching 2 episodes at a time, it wouldn't have...
With like a week then in between.
Yeah, it wouldn't have felt like too much. But I was watching like 2 episodes a night for like 4 days. And I was kind of like, it felt like overload. You know what I mean? Because we were talking about like If You Wish Upon Me, because we're going to cover that sometime this fall. And I even said, I was like, I wouldn't binge it because I just feel like it's a lot. It's emotional. It's like funny too, but it's emotional. And I was like, I think it would be like a lot. Whereas, and I guess Cafe Minamdang, it was too much, but in like the other direction. You know what I mean? It was like weird. So I do think if I watched it live, I would have enjoyed it more. I still would have been like, the end is crazy, but
yes.
But yeah, I think I definitely would have liked it more.
I mean, 18 episodes of anything is a lot to try and binge.
That's a lot. And
18 episodes of this that had a lot of sort of filler plot lines, I can imagine was very rough.
I would say too, it did have filler plot lines that just like weren't necessary. So I'm like, who decided this needed to be 18 episodes?
So Leah, you're not saying... I was like, Leah, are you not saying anything? No. So, look, I mean, I think I've made it clear the drama didn't hit me. The old school silly vibe wasn't charming for me, but I do appreciate that it could be for other people. I think it's either your thing or it's not. I think what makes me annoyed is that I like the high concept of this, but for me, the characters and execution just bogged everything down. But I don't want to spend this whole time with you because I was saying how much I value it being meh. Because I don't choose to live this life today. So this is what I did. I did a little research on what makes something bingeable. Because you're like, this is like my, like, you know, you looked up, is cereal soup? I looked up, like, what makes something bingeable. And okay, I did learn some interesting things because, we are all chasing ultimately, I think, that high of I'll just watch one more episode, but the next thing you know, you're sitting on a throne of bad life choices and it's 3 a.m. and you've got to get up at like 6:30. So there is a psychological reason for binging, and it's encoded in the very wiring of our brains. And there's been some research about it. So back in the early 20th century, a Soviet researcher named Bluma Zegamik and the psychologist Kurt Lewin were working together. And at a restaurant, Lewin noticed that waiters remembered more the orders from tables that had not been served rather than the ones that had already gotten their food. So the TLDR is that the memories of the unfinished orders were stored in the wait staff's brain better than the ones that had already been ended. So like once they brought you, your burger and Happy Meal, they like deleted you from their brain. Whereas like, if you were still waiting, they'd be like, oh God, like spaghetti and codfish on table 2. So, after a series of tests made in 1927, Zegamik determined that our brain doesn't like to be left with unfinished tasks. So it centers its attention and energy on things that need to be completed. And that feeling of discontinuity is at the root of our need to binge, because that final little image or action or turn of phrase niggles, and our little monkey brains like just feel like even though we've hit the end of an episode, like we're not done with the story. And those monkey brains like need to get to something that's like finished at all costs. And so that need leaves us having like eye bags and swimming in coffee the following day. So I've determined that my brain wasn't wiring into the show to be that invested in the identity of Gopuri. Therefore, the Zegamik effect didn't take hold for me. And therefore, it's science why I was
No, that totally makes sense, because I would say like towards the end, I did start like binging it. To be honest, I was kind of like fast forwarding through like the background stuff. And almost I was fast forwarding through the romance stuff because I was like, I didn't care about that. All I wanted to know was the identity of Gopuri. That's why I was fast forwarding. So yeah, that makes sense.
So scientific meh. That works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you have to care enough for your monkey brain to be like, I got to know what happens next.
Or just watch it live. Okay, so other than the main leads, Sotunguk and Oyunsa, who stood out for you in this drama that you would like to see again in another drama?
So Kong Mina, I thought, was one of my favorite parts of the drama. I thought she had the best hair since Dami in Itaewon Class. Her ombre was on point. And I liked that she was a genius hacker. And I felt like she was almost like the baby Ajuma from Healer. And she's also in Hotel de Luna, which is a drama, Amy, that I know you didn't connect with, but now I'm curious to see if I might try it and like it.
Yeah, I have to second that. I loved her. She had great hair, and she had she had adorable ears. Like her little ears, like when she would like put her hair. Oh my God, I just thought she was so cute. I loved her so much. And like she had like fun outfits, and yeah, I mean, I honestly, the entire time I was like, I would love to see her in a main role.
Yeah, I mean, 3 votes makes it unanimous. She was so fun, and for sure gave me Ajuma from Healer vibes, and I enjoyed like every scene that she was in. Like there was something happening that I cared about, even if it wasn't, anything major having to do with a murder. Like she was just so much fun. I loved it. Okay, so before we get to our spoilers section and lay it all out there as far as who is Gopuri, who is this drama for? If you had to say, what kind of audience would like this drama? Or can you offer any comps or both?
So, this is a little left field, but I feel like if you liked the show, a Western show called Scrubs, that's my litmus test. If you liked Scrubs, I think you would enjoy this drama as long as you could handle some murder. I personally had an allergic reaction if Scrubs was even like in the house I was in. So if you had a similar feeling where like even the sight of seeing it on the screen, like a couple of those doctors I can still think of now, and it like makes me, I have like a physically like not good reaction. then you're not.
So you don't listen to Zach Braff and Donald Faison's podcast about Scrubs?
Oh, gross! Is that a thing?
Yeah.
It was so gross. I mean, look, God, no. You know what? Fucking, it's in my Nick Cage basket. Sorry, it is.
My Nick Cage.
Throw Scrubs in with Nick Cage, and I'm going to do a podcast called "I Fucking Hate Scrubs." And like, no judgment to the people. I'm allowed to hate what I hate, and I hate Scrubs.
I've actually never seen Scrubs. But like I've seen clips enough to like know
That it's a good show.
I guess like what it's about. I mean, no, all I know is they wear like scrubs.
Because
like
they're
that's
doctors.
literally like all I know.
They wear
And then there's, like,
scrubs.
that-
They wear scrubs.
and then there's that like
this too. Like, you know a little bit more than they wear scrubs. Like,
what? Right, it's a medical drama, and I know
It's not
a
a
little
drama.
not a
There's
drama.
nothing
Is there
dramatic about it.
or not.
It's like
I'm sorry.
slapstick.
Is there any
horror?
Is there any
there
accidental
might be.
colonoscopies
There
in
might be.
Scrubs?
Yeah, but it would be a joke that would last way too long.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cafe Minamdang is basically just full of like implausible scenes and jokes that lasted too long. But like Amy, I was still entertained. Look, as Amy said, like it's Scooby Doo. It is Scooby Doo. This drama had like a cast of characters like Scooby Doo, and instead of a van, they were in like a cafe. Like, I mean, you know, just.
Mm-hmm. Look, I have a controversial
like a clown
opinion.
car of a.
I don't like Scooby Doo either.
Well, I mean, I watched
like
Scooby Doo as a
Scooby-Doo
kid.
now.
I don't know if I like now.
I didn't even really enjoy it that much as a child.
Again, why do we do this podcast together?
So
This does not happen very often.
Right, no, it doesn't.
But I didn't. I would. Just...
I mean, like, I can't even say if I like Scooby Doo or not. I mean, I guess it's not like I watched like the recent.
I
movies
did
or anything.
because
Oh,
I did with my
Jesus,
kids.
no.
I had to with my kids, like the Freddie Prinze Jr.
That makes
and
sense.
Sarah Michelle Gellar. Okay,
I mean,
I do
I
too.
do love Freddie Prinze Jr.
that
He
man,
can do it.
yeah, good looking man, has gotten better with age.
Ugh.
So I need to make a quick Scrubs comment here, because yes, I watched all
Okay.
episodes and seasons of Scrubs. Leah, do you like the Australian musical group Men at Work?
I mean, A Land Down Under is a fine song. I can't say no much more than
Okay.
that.
Well, Colin Hay, the lead singer of Men at Work,
Yes.
had a short recurring
Love
role in
Scrubs.
Scrubs as like a busker who would just be randomly in a closet. Like you'd open a door and he'd be there singing. It was very. I mean, it was meant to be weird. Like I don't even know if he was meant to be real, if everybody could see him, or just like JD or something like that. But yeah. So anyway, there you go.
Well, that's cute.
It was cute. All right. If you liked Scrubs, let me know.
I mean, most people did. That's what I'm saying. I am not speaking for the majority here. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, Scrubs was extremely popular.
Extremely
and
popular.
I would say it's a cult classic. Wouldn't you say Scrubs is a cult classic? A bit?
Is it
Aren't there
cult?
people
I
who are
think
like
people just like it?
No, like a cult classic.
not a
I don't know. I don't know if I
cult classic?
because usually stuff like that is like stuff. No, I'd say it was more like mainstream popular. You know.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what I mean.
It's like Buffy. I would consider
Yeah.
Buffy a cult classic. Okay, so this is like a little less than that. Okay, but I know people really love it. And again, there's a podcast.
Well, by the people who were
dedicated
on
to
it. It was so popular.
there
There's
might
a
be some
podcast
fans that
dedicated to it. Yeah, by the 2 stars of it.
Do you know who I liked the least was the older male doctor?
Oh, funny. That's really funny.
Yeah, he's goofy.
Yeah. I mean,
It wasn't even like the 2 younger guys.
okay, so that, yeah, I mean, we won't get into that, but it's a very over the top character too, who seems very one dimensional for a long time, but he's not. He's not. There's some depth. There is actually some emotion in Scrubs. I will just let you know that.
I mean, look,
You're basing your judgment off of
Maybe-
not even watching a full episode, I'm sure.
No, I mean, like, watching it in, it's like I would walk in a room and see it on and be like, I'm fucking out. And leaving. So maybe I would watch it and be like, oh my God, like The Office, I love Scrubs. But you know what? I don't think so.
No, it's not like The Office. It's
and
not,
I don't
yeah,
want
it's
to.
very.
I don't want to find out.
No, I will say that it's a good comp for Minamdang. Like I'll say that much as far as like the type of humor. Absolutely.
Yeah. And once I realized that, I knew I was in trouble, and I knew it was a me thing. Like Megan always says, it's a me thing. I didn't feel it. And as soon as I was like, I'm getting the Scrub feeling that I get, where it's just like illogical dislike that's like very palpable. Like I cannot say another drama I've seen that has given me this feeling. And it's like very specific. I don't know what to say. When I was little and I took naps, I didn't want to take naps. And my aunt who watched me would put me in a bed that had a sheet. And when I think of that sheet pattern, sometimes I feel sick. And I have the same feeling when I think about Scrubs and when I think about Cafe Minamdang.
What about Zombie Detective?
No, Zombie Detective. I would watch that warthog fight him.
Oh my God, the warthog fight! Oh shit, I love that.
It is my second favorite that I've watched, or my second least favorite, but there's like a gulf between them.
And now it's time for our favorite segment of the week. It's our K-pop rec, and this week we have Leah.
So I wanted to recommend a song by a group that, look, I feel like they're K-pop adjacent more, but it is a group I like a lot called The Rose. And they are getting ready to come out with a new album, Comeback, and their pre-release song is called Childhood. And I really enjoy it. It's a ballad. I feel like it's really sparsely produced, but it has this very like nostalgic feeling with it. And I like the lead singer's voice. His name is Woo-sung, and he has this kind of like very like heavy performance style. Like he's very powerful, but it can kind of sometimes feel like a lot. Like he kind of has like a lot of showmanship to his voice, but I like it. And this song is I just think it's a really sweet song that has like a lot of feelings of like what you'd want to listen to right before you have like a big cry. And so I really enjoy The Rose. I'm gonna see them live in November. They are they're really great, so you should check it out.
What's the song name again?
It's called Childhood.
I'm glad you recommended The Rose. I know a lot of people love them, so I'm glad that they're now on our playlist.
And our playlist, can we just talk about that playlist real fast? Because you have like been updating our K-pop playlist now on Spotify.
Yeah, I will tell you right now. I let that lag, I know. So, but it is now up to date. And it is on Spotify. You can, if you go to our website, afternoonadelight.podcast.com, you can find the link to it, but basically it's just Afternoona Delight. It's by Megan, if like you are searching for it, so you know it's the right one, but I don't think there's another playlist called Afternoona Delight. That's a bunch of K-pop recs. So yeah, subscribe, follow it. I forget what you do with playlists on Spotify. I think something like that.
You follow it. You can download it.
Yeah, you follow it. That's it. But I've been keeping it up to date. And honestly, I listened to our playlist on I took a walk around my neighborhood just for some exercise the other day, and I listened to our playlist, and every song that came on was like a banger. And I was just like, I'm so proud of us, because this is a great playlist. And at this point, there's a lot of songs. There's a lot of songs. So like you can shuffle it and you're good to go for a while.
If you enjoy our podcast, you have our patrons to thank, at least in part. Afternoona Delight Patreon allows us to keep creating content for y'all to enjoy. Thank you so much to everyone who is supporting us there. And not to brag, but our Patreon community is pretty awesome. And you can join at a tier that feels good to you. Gain access to fun perks like K-drama posts, monthly Patreon-only bonus podcasts, and even a live K-drama support group on Zoom. Because we know firsthand what it's like to have no one to talk to about those crazy plot twists, amazing characters, and all those feelings. And look, no one should have to walk that walk alone. So learn more by visiting afternoonadelight.com. That's www.afternoonadelight.com. And hey, while you're on the website, you can check out Afternoona Delight podcast merch, find links to book recommendations, bop along to our K-pop Rex, glow up your skin with K merch Rex, find all of our social media, and a link to our email so you can send us recommendations or feedback. And hey, while you're at it, why don't you pop over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review? It really helps with our discoverability. Kamsahamnida.
All right, folks, this is your official warning that we are moving into the Cafe Minamdang spoiler section. So if you don't want to hear the reveal of who the real baddie is, because this drama definitely keeps you guessing. I don't know if it's in the best way, but it does. Then pop on over to Netflix and enjoy 18 plus hours of mystery, romance, and zany antics before heading back for the rest of the pod. But if you're ready to dive in, let's do it. Because really, the second half is for my benefit, for hopefully you guys to explain the rest of the drama to me. So let's start by going back a few years. We find out early on that when Han Jae-hui was a kid, Nam Han-jun was her martial arts instructor, and she had a monster crush on him. He also inspired her to become a cop, because he was a cop. But when they reunite after Han-jun's prison stint, because they are both investigating the same murder, that of prosecutor Han Jae-jong, Han-jun does not recognize her as prosecutor Han's little sister. Is it because she was that much younger than him? I mean, he's clearly an adult when he's her instructor, and she's a bowl cut wearing 12 or 13-year-old. Is it because back then she was known as Han Jong-mi and is now using a pseudonym to investigate her brother's murder without people knowing she's his sister? Or is it a combo of both because she clearly remembers him? Help me out.
So first, look, this doesn't even answer your question, but I'm asking another question because I guess that's what I'm doing. So how many times does Jae-jong hit Han-jun in this drama?
I lost count.
Plus tases him. Plus hits him with a chair.
The tasing was an accident, though.
At least once an episode.
That part,
maybe
the rest was not.
Yeah.
Maybe he just can't remember her because he has sustained massive head trauma.
This is very possible.
Also, the actress Oh Yeon-so is actually a year older in real life than So In-guk. So I don't know. Like, I mean, no judgment. I was just also like, that's funny to me.
It just it was weird that she was playing somebody supposedly so much younger than him.
Right.
That like she would be this little kid when he meets her. But yeah.
So I don't know. I just felt like hiding the true identity just because like fit in the drama to me. Like, I don't think he recognized her because of like plot armor, because I think like, you know, it made the plot apparently more compelling for him not to recognize her. And I actually thought he did know for a while and there was going to be some big reason he was like hiding his knowing, but I don't think he did know. And the big reveal didn't have any mic drop element to me either. Like when she did reveal, it was kind of like, okay.
I don't feel like he did, but maybe I read it wrong. That's why I'm asking. Yeah.
See, I thought he already had it figured out. I thought he knew the whole time. I don't know where.
No, yeah, I know. I was like, doesn't he know her? Yes. And it was like an emotional reveal moment too.
Right. Like that was the reveal. And he was like, oh my God. And I was like, well, didn't you figure this out? Maybe the writers forgot. I don't know. Let me just say that the age ranges in this drama were wild. Mm-hmm. Like wild. Mm-hmm. I think we'll talk about Auntie M maybe a little bit more, but like, so Auntie M was essentially like a rival shaman. She was a bad guy, okay, and
her protege
looked at least 20 years older than her, but apparently she saw him and like brought him under her wing when she was an adult and he was like 9. And I'm like, what? This guy, what? Yeah, like, I don't know. So
in real life, she's 28 and he's like 41 or 42.
It's like your father.
Yeah, that looks accurate. I mean, yeah, I guess I guess I'll say this, like, the fact that Han Jun didn't recognize Jae Hui is honestly one of
the least of your worries.
The most plausible. It's actually one of the most plausible situations in this entire drama.
Well, what's funny to me, because usually the device in a drama is when you're going to go back in time, it's either going to be the actors present day, like playing themselves as teens or whatever, or it's going to be totally different actors, right? Instead, they did half and half here. So when they went back in time, for Han Jun and Jae Hui, he was played by Seung-guk and she was played by a child. And
12 and 13 is generous.
Same with I looked up the actress. She was 12. I looked her up. She was 12.
Oh,
yes.
she was okay. Well,
and same thing with Gu Tae-soo and Auntie M. Gu Tae-soo was played by like a 9-year-old kid when he was a 9-year-old kid, and Auntie M was played by the same 28-year-old woman.
Like when they showed her face, I was like,
"It's her.
Is this a dream?"
I'm like, is the big reveal going to be that she's a vampire? Because okay,
right?
I'd have bought that.
Her shamanism has made
ageless,
her immortal. Yeah,
yeah. So I don't understand that, like, because it's usually one or the other. But whatever. We're not talking about plausibility here because I'm going to get into the mystery next. And we're going to talk about the implausibility of everything. So here we go. The mystery. I'll lay it out as best we can. And we'll go from there.
God. Okay. Hang on. Let me get a drink.
Nam Han Jun was a criminal profiler who was good friends with Prosecutor Han. One night when he's supposed to be popping by Prosecutor Han's apartment for some takeout, he finds his friend's apartment on fire and his friend already strangled to death inside. He fights with a man in black, burns the baddie's hand, but the baddie escapes.
No, the baddie's hand was
already burnt? Oh, that's right, because he saw the burn.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay.
It's okay.
I'm going to change that sentence. Okay. He fights with a man in black and notices that the stranger has a burn on his hand. That's his identifying feature. But the baddie escapes. Han Jun ends up getting framed for tampering with evidence connected to the supposed confessed murderer, Choi Young-sup. I wrote this as clearly as I could, and I'm still. I know, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, this. I'm just like, is this?
I'm already not listening.
I know. I'm like imagining like the script treatment for this. Be like, all right, so here's the gist of it.
Oh my god! Can you imagine?
So yes, so Han Jun goes to prison for 3 years while his buddy cop, Soo Chol, gets fired but not arrested. So Soo Chol opens a detective agency. Okay? However, when Han Jun goes to find Soo Chol after prison, he finds his friend so broke that he's sharing an office with a rundown shaman temple. It is here that Han Jun gets mistaken for a shaman and decides to roll with it, because why not? It is here that Han Jun decides to use his shamanism as a means to investigate Prosecutor Han's case because he doesn't believe that Choi Young-sup is the murderer. And it's here that the idea for Cafe Minamdang is born. Okay, that was a lot, and that's like episodes 1 and 2.
I'm already bored and hate it.
But for me, that would have been enough of a story. But that would have been enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that wasn't all. It just kept piling on. And
that was compelling, honestly. That was compelling that his friend died and he's trying to solve his murder. Like, that's classic. Right. That's a classic trope, and it's.
But like, then we're gonna get it. We get into the guy who confessed to the murder but really didn't do it and gets murdered when he. Okay. So
yeah, what do you like? Wait, hang up.
Right, exactly what Leah does not want in this drama. So that was, like I said, that was episodes 1 and 2. Were you able to keep up with the murder subplots, especially with Shaman Auntie Im, who served the wealthy CEOs and politicians in their land development scheme? Did you care about all of the subplots, or were you like me, really only wanting to know who killed Prosecutor Han? Leah didn't want to know any of it.
No, I didn't. Look, there is a thing that I've noticed a few times in dramas where I feel like if there's too many courtroom scenes, I don't want it anymore. And there's a thing is too many random subplots. And that's what this drama had. Like, I don't know if like contractually they were just okay, you got to do 18. That's it. But here's the thing, Amy, is remember when we wrote a series on arrogant princes from a fictional country?
Do I remember?
You and I, yeah, and we were like,
I couldn't tell you the plot of any of
some,
these
like,
4 books.
banana books. And I was like sitting in jujitsu for my kids on my phone, and I would like write a chapter, and then I would like send it to you, and then you would send it back to me. And I mean, we had stuff where it was like
We were punking each other.
Vampires punking each other. Vampires in catacombs. We had like, you know, at one point we had somebody who was going to get publicly executed, and she was tied to like an electric pole. These books got published, mind you.
You had somebody peel off their face like it was Mission Impossible.
Yeah, or
it got published by
a full face off, where like the
a
bad
good
guy,
publisher. Like, just want to say that. It got published by a good publisher.
Mills and Boon, like a Harlequin, over like a British subsidiary. It got foreign deals.
Yeah.
And I was like, I still think our books are more fun, even though they're ridiculous. But it's like, that's how I felt like this was. Like, where I was like, look, I don't know what these books are, but like eventually we're just like, we have a 4-book contract. No one's like, it seems to like give a shit what we're doing, and this is funny. So let's just like make this shit crazy because we're writing under a pen name, and like, let's just go for it. And that's kind of like what I felt like this drama was doing. So at the end of the day, like, pour one out for Prosecutor Han, but I didn't care about him either, or his murderous big reveal.
Poor Prosecutor Han. I thought
he's probably the only person in this drama who did not overact.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, I lost the plot around episode 13. Like, all the many plots. And let me tell you too, there were so many characters. And like there were so many characters and names who were just like old evil dudes who were like chaebols. And I was like, I don't even know your name at this point. I don't remember your name because there's so many names. And then they had sons, and we're supposed to pay attention to who their son is, who their elder son is. It was a lot. Okay. And I just was like, I didn't. And then they kept referring to people from like 10 episodes ago. And then I was like, I could barely even remember who they were. So,
like, there are those 2 people that he helped who kept coming back and wanting to be like his sidekicks and stuff like that.
I mean, it was just a lot. But you know what? I was still watching because I love Son Gook, and he kept me hooked on this. I mean, I can be simple, and sometimes a single very charismatic lead can carry me through 18 episodes of Crazy Town.
Yep. Or however many episodes of The Sound of Magic was.
Right. It was only 6.
Okay, wait, actually, fuck. Which one did I hate more? Sound of Music or
I forgot about Sound of Magic. Yes.
Or Sound of Magic. No, Sound of Magic is my second least favorite. Zombie Detective third.
Okay.
So
glad we have the lineup now.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I guess that would be a fun list to make. Or like, I mean, it's such a hater thing to do, but like, you know, we have our top, 3. Now you can do your bottom. Like, what's your bottom 3?
My bottom 3? Oh, you're just asking.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, personal taste.
Personal taste
would be my number.
Run On.
No, because Run On, I was there for. I was there for the second leads. Like, I liked that story, and yeah. What else? Silent Sea. I hate to say that.
Yeah.
Silent Sea.
No, it was horrible.
And Sound of Magic. It makes me very sad because I like everybody in those dramas. I mean, we're talking Lee Min Ho and Gong Yu and Chi Chang Wook. So,
I need to think.
I'm going to put Silent Sea in front of Silent Sea is going to knock out Zombie Detective. Zombie Detective does not make the cut for my bottom 3. It is Sound of Magic, Silent Sea, and this thing.
This thing.
I mean, I don't know. I have to think longer on it. I'm not sure, honestly.
What's one? Give us one, Megan. You don't have one
that you did enjoy.
I would say My Mister. Sorry, but that's got to be low. We all know why.
Oh, jeez! You're like, I couldn't. Here's a bomb. Pull.
Well, I just mean I was very clear about why I didn't like it. My Mister.
Yes,
that's what I mean.
Yes.
I just mean we all know why because I covered it extensively.
Yes, you did do a TED
and
talk.
maybe something about 1%. But I almost I didn't. This is a hard because something about 1%. I still watched it. It's just I don't know. It's hard.
It made you
That's
mad.
hard for me. It made me mad. So it was yeah. I don't know.
All right. So here's another thing that I think was a problem with the drama. Again, it wasn't a huge problem for me because I was watching it weekly, but I think this is another thing that made it not bingeable. So I found this drama to be extremely low stakes in the first 3 quarters, and even I'd say the last episode. I knew nothing bad was going to happen to Nam Han-jun. I knew. So what I mean is that the comedy was so farcical and over the top, which I mostly enjoyed, that when something bad happened, like Detective Han getting trapped in the burning camper and the episode ended on the will she or won't she survive, I never, for a little teeny millisecond, worried that she wouldn't survive. Because I already knew that, that was the tone of this drama. Despite there being a years-old murder to solve and more people getting murdered and doing murders along the way, I never thought that any of our mains were in danger. So, did you find the danger to be low stakes as well? And how did your assessment of the stakes kind of serve, the rest of the drama or all of the drama? When it did get pretty dark towards the end, even though everything ends fine. Did you ever worry about any of the leads, whether or not they'd be dead or alive? And is it possible for a drama with low stakes to still pull off a satisfying story, especially if there's, mystery and murder involved? We talk about stakes a lot in writing,
but I think if it's a romance at the core, which this had-ish, then I don't think that it's it's not like a Mr. Sunshine or something where I'm I actually have no fucking idea where this is going to go and I'm scared. And so I'm okay if I don't really know, but I think I need to care about the characters. Because I think I'm not going to say it's a comp, but I really enjoyed When the Camellia Blooms. And I never thought the 2 leads were going to die because it was a romance even with the murder. But I cared, and I still did get worried. When Dom Beck went into the creepy old shopping mall and got chased around, I was kind of hyperventilating. But this drama felt just it got so bloated with random stuff, and the pacing was off that I just never really connected. And I actually thought I'd like to see one of you beat sheet this because you both seem to like the drama okay, and you like structure. And I just felt instinctively something's out of whack here. It could have been hitting all the beats, but maybe it was hitting them.
Oh God, no! Places. I couldn't beat sheet this. Absolutely not.
And so for me, I feel When the Camellia Blooms is a top drama for me. So I could care, but I connected with those characters. So I just wanted to see them do the journey, even though I never thought they were going to kill Young Sik at any point.
Yeah, I mean, it was out of whack. Full stop. I'm not absolutely. So many things were insane. I mean, there were moments where. So, at one point, the 2 main leads are in Auntie Im's temple. And she shuts them in one room and turns on gas that makes them pass out. And I am
not kill them, though. Just pass out.
That's something we would have written, Amy, in that book series.
She has a gas chamber in her temple. What? What? Insane. And then, at one point, Han Jui gets shot in the arm. And of course, it's a big deal. It's a cliffhanger. She gets shot with a bullet. Actually, it was a freaking shotgun.
And she gets grazed.
It was a shotgun. And when they show her the hospital, I use a bigger Band-Aid for a paper cut. I mean, it was this tiny little Band-Aid. She's like, I'm fine. Like, not even sore, can fully use her arm, even though she got shot in the arm with a shotgun. Hysterical. So, okay, so here's the thing about how this drama was written, in my opinion. I just mean, this is my assessment. Totally accurate. I'm just saying. I feel like they knew what kind of scenes they wanted to shoot and direct. Like, I feel like the director had in their head, this is a scene I want to shoot. This is going to look great. So they knew they wanted like this rooftop fight in the rain. They wanted, that's what they wanted between, the real Gopuri and, Nam Hanjun. But they actually had to write how these characters were going to find themselves on the rooftop, in the rain, alone, in a fist fight. So the logistics to get them there were so convoluted and complicated, and they had to find a way to take out all these other characters and keep them busy doing God knows what. Like, all of a sudden, Hanjui is like, I don't know, she's like fighting random criminals. Like, I still don't even understand how that happened. So she's busy fighting like random criminals just so they could get the two men on the rooftop. You know what I mean? Like, and that took almost a full episode just to get them onto this rooftop before they could fight. And so I do this when I write sometimes. Like, I knew in this one book that I wanted the male hero who's an alien. So he's got, I don't know, armor and stuff. I wanted him to leap off a waterfall while cradling the female heroine in order to run away from the baddies. Like, I was like, oh my God, I had it all pictured in my head. I was like, this is going to be so fucking great. Everyone's going to love it. It's like the coolest action scene. And I was like, so stoked. Okay. And then I realized I had to make it make sense for them to first be chased into a river and then literally have their only way out to be to jump off this deadly waterfall instead of like just run in another direction. Like, do you realize, like, I had to then it sounded like this great scene, but then I had to make it make sense. Did I still write the waterfall? Yes, because it's my book. Was it 100% plausible? Absolutely not. They probably could have run in a different direction and not jump off a waterfall. But look, I write fantastical escapist romance. This was like a big budget K-drama with an average of 2.5 ridiculous, implausible scenes per episode. So in the end, was I entertained? Yes. Did I enjoy So Eun-guk's use of smoke machines copiously in several situations? Also, yes. Yeah.
So let's close this out with the final reveal, the twists. Okay, so let's talk about all the twists and turns. Early on, we find out that the man who confessed to Prosecutor Han's murder did not, in fact, murder him. However, before he could help the case along, he got some murder done to him, and he was no more.
Murder done to him.
It's at this time that we find out that Gu Tae-soo, the man who was the boy who murdered his father, you still with me, is the one who did the murdering to Choi Young-sup. And it looks like he must be the culprit in Prosecutor Han's murder. But the team needs proof, so there is still some investigating to do. Enter Prosecutor Cha Do-won, played by Kwon Soo-hyun. He's the sweet and funny prosecutor who has a crush on our heroine, Jae-hui. He's helping with the case and competing with Han-jun, often comically, for Jae-hui's attention. He's handsome and wants to stick it to his money-hungry brother who wants their father's inheritance. There are clues in the first half that make you think, wait, is this cutie the murderer? He's always at the scene when something bad happens. But the introduction of Gu Tae-soo tells us, nah, that's just a red herring, folks. He's just Jae-hui's sweet, jilted, unrequited lover. Until we find out that Gu Tae-soo, a.k.a. Gopuri, had an accomplice. Then shit gets bonkers as things start to unravel. I'm tired just thinking about what comes next. So, Megan, since you just watched the big reveal a couple of nights ago, can you walk us through how Prosecutor Cha is dun-dun-dun Gopuri?
So can I walk you through? I mean, I don't know. because it really doesn't make tons of sense. I do want to say that Kwon Soo-hyun is beautiful. Yes. I really enjoyed watching him on screen. I wasn't even that sad when he was the villain because he was also like a super hot villain. Like, I want to see him in more stuff. He was great, and he has this really deep, sexy voice that I'm like really into, even though he murders. So
a lot of murder.
Yeah. Did I get the sense that they retconned like several things later to explain Prosecutor Cha's involvement? Like, yes. 100%. I feel like I almost wonder if this was like a last minute. I don't know, because it just did not add up. And here's the thing. I do not love, and several K-dramas do this, okay? And it's not my favorite thing. I would say this K-drama did it a lot. So they replay past scenes, but either in like a different angle or point of view to like explain a big reveal. And it always feels a little like I'm being patronized. Like they're like, well, you thought you knew what happened, but you didn't because this is what really happened. I don't know. It just sort of like
I kind of liked
me
that
a little bit.
I liked it in Chloe. I liked it a lot in Chloe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was
different
because it was like about
it was
different because it was and it was good.
It was Captain Reed.
It was good. The way this drama did it, and this drama did it so much that it also just started to feel, again, repetitive. Mm-hmm. So essentially, Prosecutor Cha is actually a psychopath, like a actual, like, I'm not saying that facetiously, like he has no empathy. He like tried to kill a dog with a rock when he was little, you know. Anyway, and he's been brainwashed he was brainwashed as a child by his tutor to believe in justice so he wouldn't murder. But he still wants
problem solved.
After he kills a kid, by the way, he poisons a kid. He poisons a kid.
Yeah, poisons him with like
he's like, here's a kid who's getting beat up. He's like, here's some water.
Yeah,
and then
he's poison. Like, oh, I thought it would kill you faster, and then strangles him with his own necktie. Oh my God. But he's still. So, you know, so he was brainwashed to believe in justice so he won't murder. But he still wants to murder for justice. So he starts, like, vigilante killing. But then he doesn't only murder for justice. He also murders those close to finding out his identity. So it's complicated. And I'm still, like, unsure how he decides who needs to die. Because, like...
It's like Batman, except if you find out he's Batman, you're dead, too.
Yeah, it was just very weird, and like it didn't add up. Yeah. You know, like in the end, it just didn't add up. It wasn't like, oh my God, I get it now. Like when Flower of Evil kind of had. I'm not going to give a spoiler, but when Flower of Evil had a lot of the big reveals, it all clicked. I mean, clicked like
a pen that triggered him to not do murder.
I mean, but this drama. It didn't click like a Lego.
It was like somebody was like drunk and kind of took a sock and flushed it down the toilet.
And then tried everything they could to not make the toilet overflow after they were the one who put the sock in the toilet.
I mean, honestly, I actually enjoyed like the earlier episodes. Like once that like came out, I was like, ugh. And the thing is, I kind of called it too, but I thought it would make more sense. Like I actually did message Amy and I was like, I think Prosecutor Cha is like a bad dude. And I kind of was getting that hint for a while, but like, I thought it would make sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it didn't. So that's my bummer, but that's okay.
Especially like when he finds out, because he doesn't realize at first that he's like, been conditioned, and then when he learns that he's conditioned to not murder but he's still been murdering, then he's like having this, you know, moment with himself of like, no, I want justice because I want justice, not because you make me want justice. But I was like, you're still murdering, so it doesn't matter.
He's been murdering this whole time.
He's still murdering.
But he's been murdering this whole time. Like why are you having a revelation when you've been murdering this whole time? Mm-hmm. It didn't make any sense.
So folks, there you have it. That is Cafe.
How about some final thoughts? Let's just do final thoughts on this, because do you know why I want to do final thoughts on this? I want to do final thoughts on this so we can be repetitive, just like the drama, and bloat it out at the end.
Okay, but I do have something new to say about it.
Okay.
So,
a final
on the
new
second-
thought.
Yes. So the second to last final showdown, because it's not the last
that's
one,
right.
because
That's
that
right.
had to take place on the roof of a parking garage in the rain for reasons, was at an amusement park. And let me just tell you that this made zero sense. Everything about this made zero sense. I cannot even explain to you, but that's okay. So I was watching it and I'm like, that amusement park gate looks really familiar. And I swore that I'd seen like an infantile magician luring female students there. And then, as I was watching, the building of the amusement park said Magic Land, and I actually screamed out loud in my bed as I was watching this. Because, of course, this amusement park was also the home of Ji Chang-wook's character in Sound of Magic, another absolutely bonkers K-drama that was also implausible. Yet we've really been on a roll lately. So look, I just, the fact that both crazy things, like this poor amusement park, like, what did it do? What did it do to South Korea to be treated?
And there's like 6 other dramas that had scenes at this amusement park. Like it's called Yangma Land. So like I kind of want to watch the other dramas just to see if they're bonkers dramas.
Right, like this poor place. It's like cursed. So, yeah, I mean, I already said what I need to say about it. I just needed to point out that this amusement park is just a K-drama character all in itself. If I go to South Korea, I'm visiting Magic Land.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And I feel like, honestly, I thought, again, the high concept was good. And I would have watched a kind of like Cafe Minamdang type of movie if it focused on like a shaman who was a former profiler, who's a fraud, and there's like hijinks and solving like a friend's murder. Like, I would have watched that. And even something in the vibe of Midnight Runners, which also had broad humor, but I enjoyed it. So I think I can handle it in doses. Like, give it to me in like an hour and 50 minutes, and I'll be like, sure. But I wouldn't want 18 episodes of Midnight Runners, and I would not ever want to do 18 episodes of this again. And I honestly, the other thing too, my last thought is I wish, and I also think I would have liked it if it had more of like a Knives Out vibe. Where, you know, we had like the shaman as kind of like I don't know. It's a whole different drama, but I felt like that could have worked with like the character archetype in a cool way.
Like in the beginning, when you got to see how he did his shaman work, you know, like with his camera glasses and his sister in the background, it was really fun. Like that stuff was really fun.
Agreed.
So if it was just that and solving his friend's murder, that was really all we needed.
Yes.
Right. And it would have been super compelling. I can't agree
But it
more.
just got very
I rarely,
convoluted.
Yeah. I'm rarely like, oh, this should have just been a movie. Usually I'm like,
I've never,
drama.
yeah, 100%. I don't think I've had another one where I've been like, this should have been a movie.
It would have been a great movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I do think that the biggest reason why I had a much different reaction from you both is the way that I watched it. Like 2 episodes a week was plenty. Having that, 5-day gap in between or 6-day gap, it was perfect. Because then I was like, okay, I can have some more like, bonkers comedy again. And I can be okay with a bonkers storyline too, but like, yeah, I didn't need 18 episodes of bonkers when there was a thread that could have carried it through the whole way.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we didn't even actually talk about how there's an accidental colonoscopy where the patient is saying you have the wrong person and they still put him to sleep.
Could never happen. Yeah, Suchol has an accidental colonoscopy. This is when it's supposed to be Hanjun is supposed to be pretending to be another patient to try and save Choi Young-sup, who is the confessed murderer who didn't do the murder, who gets murder done to him. Anyway, Hanjun's not in the right bed, so Suchol lays in the bed and gets a colonoscopy. The end.
Even though he's like, no,
he hasn't done the prep.
They're like, shut up.
He hasn't done the prep and emptied out his bowels. Like I'm sitting here like thinking of it clinically. I'm like, you can't just give somebody a colonoscopy. You can't just put somebody under and stick a camera up their butt without the prep.
Pretty unpleasant. Yeah. No.
Oh yeah, no prep.
There's a lot of pushback there.
That camera did not make it all the way in.
that camera like took a peek and was like, "This is not the tunnel,
not the right hole." Oh God.
That's what we're ending on. That is what
note.
we're ending on, a colonoscopy. There you have it, everybody.
Sorry.
Failed shit-filled colonoscopy.
That's Leah's assessment
But-
of this drama.
Songgook is wonderful.
Yeah.
Not-
That is one thing we've all agreed on.
Yeah,
Song
not
Gook.
his fault. He's like Magic Land in this, like an innocent victim.
He's like Bella the parrot.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve that.
He deserved
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we
All right,
cannot
well.
wait to hear what all of you think of Cafe Minamdang. And please,
And it's okay if you
it
liked
is.
it.
We are
Just,
not
you know.
yucking anybody's
I mean,
yum. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed the ride. Would I watch it again? Absolutely not.
Right. I will say, if you think the entire drama was plausible,
Please tell us how. We need a
We should
PowerPoint.
probably
We need a
talk.
PowerPoint
yeah.
with many visual aids.
But it's totally okay to enjoy it. I did too.
All right. Well,
All right.
thanks, everybody.
Annyeong.
Annyeong. Kamsahamnida. Thank you for listening to Afternoona Delight. Where can you find us outside the pod? Head on over to afternoonadelight.com. That's AFTERNOONADELIGHT.com. You'll find links to all our social media, our book recs, K-pop and K-skincare recs, and if you want even more Afternoona Delight, because really who doesn't, you can join our Patreon, where you can choose the patron level that's right for you. Join in daily K-drama conversations, listen to bonus podcast episodes just for patrons, and participate in our monthly live K-drama support group via Zoom. We can't wait for you to be a part of the community. Until next time, annyeong!